Keeping it real.
What is a narcissist? What is narcissist personality disorder? Well, it involves a pattern of self-centered, arrogant thinking and behavior, a lack of empathy and consideration for other people, and an excessive need for admiration. Others often describe people with NPD as cocky, manipulative, selfish, patronizing, and demanding. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a deep dive into the man that is Kanye West. Throughout Kanye's career, he's always been a bit of a narcissist. I think when you analyze one of his earliest and most honest records to date, which was his second album entitled Late Registration, on the song entitled Diamonds, where he raps, "I was sick about awards, couldn't nobody cure me. Only player that got robbed but kept all his jewelry. Alicia Keys tried to talk some sense in him. 30 minutes later, seeing there's no convincing him. What more could you ask for? The international asshole who complained about what he's old and throw a tantrum like you're 3 years old. You gotta love it though. Somebody still speak from his soul. It wouldn't change by the change of the game of the fame. When he came in the game, he made his own lane. Now all I need is y'all to pronounce my name is Kanye, but some of my plaques to say Kane." Now back then, a lot of Kanye's red flags came off like typical rap persona bravado. Nothing intimidating, just the overzealous of confidence and rebellion that people gravitate to, because in many ways, these artists speak through us. We live through these artists. They say things that we wish we could say in everyday life. And that's when the fandom kicks in. Me personally, my fandom with Kanye West started before he even dropped his debut. I admired the producer from Chicago that sampled and sped up soul beats. The one that gave Jay-Z Blueprint a whole new sound, a different realm into Jay-Z's already impressive catalog by the time Blueprint dropped. And even though Jay-Z's quotables throughout that album left a lasting impression on a young fan of hip-hop such as myself, it was Kanye West and Just Blaze production that left just as much of an impression that complemented and cemented Jay-Z's legacy at that point in time. Albeit Ether did humble the man a little bit. But that got me excited to hit this new guy on the scene who was the complete opposite of what a rapper looked like during that time period. Yet still, even when Kanye debuted album College Dropout came out, I was a fan, but not really on board. At the time, I was still leaning heavily more towards the 50 Cent G-Unit era of hip-hop. You know, the more gangster, tough, masculine, at least on the outside appearance, hip-hop. And even though I was more Kanye than 50 at the time, 50 just felt more natural, like the rappers I grew up listening to. It wasn't until 2005, during Hurricane Katrina, where Kanye won me over on a personal level. It's the Kanye that we will become to love and hate. The outspoken, heart on his sleeve, no holds barred, rebellious Yee. When he uttered the words, "George Bush doesn't care about black people," I felt that shit. And my respect level for him shot up through the roof. I saw a bit of me in Kanye at that moment. I immediately bought Late Registration, and to this day, I still consider it one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. It came out at a time when I was on academic probation and unsure where I was headed in my college tenure. That album helped me a lot, guided me through a rough time in a way that 50's The Massacre just couldn't do it. So understand, I was a true dedicated fan to Kanye West. I empathized with the brother when his mother passed. I couldn't even imagine the feeling. To that point, you rarely saw a rapper openly have his mother by his side the way Ye did. In a way, it felt like she was his cape. his cloak and dagger. I mean, it's your mother after all. That's what mothers do. But after her passing, something drastically changed, which is understandable, to say the least. Kanye West's 808s and Heartbreaks will probably be the last Kanye album I fully appreciated and resonated with. Human beings grow and sometimes grow apart. That's a part of life. That's fair. It would be selfish to want a person to remain the same as you knew them in the past forever. I can never put myself in Kanye's shoes. But if you told me in 2004 that Kanye West would live long enough to become the villain, I would have told you you lost your fucking mind. And here we are. Me personally, I'd probably say the fandom relationship I had with Kanye ended somewhere around the time he dropped My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. At this point in time, I didn't know who this Kanye West was. The outside antics became more theatrical. The quotes became more self-serving and shallow. At one point in time, Kanye felt like he was a man of the people. And now he's the man the people needed. And around this time, you started to see people who admired Kanye for his musical contributions grapple with being honest and being real with how they truly felt about some of his questionable comments, and just resorted to straight coddling Kanye. Because, again, it's Kanye. It's Mr. College Dropout. It's Mr. Late Registration. Face it, if Kanye was just some nigga still making beats on a cheap ass sofa, saying what he's been saying for the past decade, we would not be so quick to empathize about his mental health. We would not give this dude the time of the day as if anything he says outside of his music is that relevant. Look, don't get me wrong. We do need to pay more attention to mental health. We do need to empathize with people that are suffering from mental health. But at what point does it become acknowledging the fact and coddling the fact? Kanye is a musical talent. He's not a genius. And this is often where people start to not only go into fandom, but apologists. Only because it's a celebrity. And not only go into apologists, but worship. I'm not suggesting Einstein is the end-all be-all when it comes to a high intellect, but we can use him as a frame of reference to determine what a highly intelligent human being is. There's at least 35 people today with a higher IQ than Einstein. Kanye ain't one of them. And notice, I said musical talent and not musical genius. There's a difference. You can compliment someone and say that they're a musical talent. Kanye is musically gifted. He's musically talented. A genius is something completely different. If Kanye ain't breaking down neutrons, atoms, protons, if he can't explain that to me, then please let's not use the genius word so loosely. Kanye West once said, he's a proud non-reader of books. Let me repeat that again. Kanye West once said he's a proud non-reader of books. Understand this. Reading is a form of visual exercise. The visual stimulation of reading exercises the occipital lobe. This helps with the imagination, which will also help with creativity. The occipital lobe also has a big impact on making decisions. See, Kanye sounds smart to a room full of dumb niggas. And if you haven't noticed, he loves to talk in a room full of niggas he thinks less of. It makes him feel that much more important. Kanye aspires to be like Elon Musk, Disney, Steve Jobs. He's obsessed with being a legendary pop cultural icon. That's not a genius. That's not even a musical genius. That's just someone desperate for relevancy. It's a difference. And all the antics, to be quite honest with you, are not completely his fault. Part of that falls on society and the people surrounding Kanye. We saw his friends go on a full-on campaign when Kanye was out here basically lusting over Trump, calling this man a father figure, basically fawning over white zaddy figure, and Negroes ate it up. Did you hear? He's talking about free Larry Hoover. Y'all just don't get it. He's too deep. Yet, when it came to Chrisette Michele, all she wanted to do was perform during the inauguration. Because in her eyes, that could bridge America together. And she got canceled for real for that. I mean, when the last time you heard Chrisette Michele? And Chrisette Michele is talented. I digress. It's not the fact that Kanye is too deep for the basic human being to understand. It's just that our society is too embedded in celebrity worship. And especially, and unfortunately, the black community. And look where we're at today. Kanye, easily a billionaire, if I'm not mistaken, is pulling broke baby daddy antics. Again, this is a billionaire, people, who's acting like a broke baby daddy. Look, I am not in the slightest bit a Kardashian fan. I think a lot of what's wrong with society starts with the Kardashians and America's obsession with the Kardashians. But if you don't see Kanye's tactics as a man being dusty and toxic to the mother of his children, then not only is he the problem, but you're the problem. I stopped rocking with Kanye, period, close to a decade ago. I know how to separate the art from the person. When will we as a society learn to stop worshiping celebrities just because they made a beat we liked back in high school? When will we stop allowing entertainers to be a spokesperson for a group for over 40 million people? Who's taking us serious if we take a Negro that just throws shit at the wall and hopes something sticks as a spokesperson for a group of 40 million plus people in America? They'll never take you serious. They'll never take us serious. Kanye West has become what he always wanted to be, no matter if it was right or wrong. And I quote, "Rap is the new rock and roll. We the rock stars. We the rock stars, and I'm the biggest of them all." For better or worse, Yeezy is who he's always been. And there you have it, folks. Kanye West, a man caught in between yes men and celebrity worship. And it's on a collision course to self-destruction. Like and subscribe, or continue gobbling on that nigga's balls. Pause. Until next time, holla.
His actions are really what matter. I mean, you so famously and so powerfully said George Bush doesn't care about black people. It makes me wonder what makes you think that Donald Trump does, or any people at all. Why don't we take a break? We'll come back, and Kanye West is here. His album's called Yo.